What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another awesome episode of our Smooth Club, the show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. I'm Arrington Gavin, and alongside with me are some of my good friends, business owners. I have Mr. Jonathan Jones. How you doing, sir? I got the Dapper Luke. Okay, and we got a new member to the club, y'all. We have Mr. Mike Benton, owner of Stark and Legum Haberdashery. Did I pronounce it right? There we go. See, I've been practicing.
Haberdashery.
It is apparel, man. It is a historic landmark in Norfolk, Virginia, in the heart of downtown Norfolk. Awesome store. So when you're in the city, hey, be sure to stop by. Guys, how we all doing today?
Doing good, great,
Doing
man.
good.
We're
Good.
man.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Feels good.
Thank you.
Everybody
That's right.
looking good.
Right. I mean, I don't know, Mr. Mike. You kind of killing us right now.
Go ahead, man.
I'm about to say I was the hat guy. We got a new hat guy in the building. That's okay. That's all right.
You can still be the hat guy, but I'm the hat guy.
There you go. There you go. Well,
That's
thank you
cool.
so much for coming, Mr. Mike, man. We're so honored to have you here.
Great.
Well, look, guys, I'm gonna start you off with just first discussion of the day. When you look at a lot of public and known figures, athletes, entertainers, musicians, a lot of times they try to open up outside of their comfort zone, the zone that makes them money. They say, hey, look, I want to make a difference, in my community. I want to do something more than just be, my brand, my name. I actually want to do something in the world. And sometimes they, depending on what they do, they'll get some bad feedback. You look at Kaepernick got harsh feedback, right? People were saying he should stay in his lane, stay with sports. LeBron James was told to shut up and dribble. You had musicians try and do something, and they get flack. So, or Michael Jordan, remember during the Last Dance documentary, he was saying that, hey, look, I play basketball. I don't get involved in a lot of community stuff. That's not my role. Now, the billionaire MJ is saying, I just finished building my second clinic in my hometown, making an awesome difference in his home area in Charlotte. So, guys, my question to you all is, do you think that, known figures should be obligated to do like community work, social work? Do you think they should be obligated too? So, whoever wants to start this off.
I think, to a certain extent.
Mhm.
Like, you should definitely be vocal in where you stand on certain subjects, especially if it's like or something major like around the country that's like a crucial thing going on every day.
Mhm.
Definitely like be vocal on where you stand with that. But I mean, you can't tell somebody what to do with their money.
Exactly.
Like that's like a big thing. So like, I mean, like the donations and stuff. Like personally, like I'll be definitely vocal,
Mhm.
but like subtle with donations. I'm not out here like, oh, I'm donating this and blah 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 blah. Like, be smart with your money and I mean, do what you want with it at the end of the day.
Okay. What do you
I
think?
feel like
Yeah.
we are all Americans, right? And one of the things that we value is freedom of speech, being able to speak on topics,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Yes, their primary profession is basketball, football, acting, music, right? But they're still Americans. They still have an opinion. The difference is they understand that they have a very large audience that listens to what they're going to say. And I think that's what's fearful for those that are speaking out about them talking. They're like, okay, this person has a very large audience. So when they say something, right, a lot of people are going to see it, a lot of people are going to hear it, and they're
Mhm.
probably going to react a certain way off of that.
Yep.
And that's good. I mean, I feel as though if you have a large platform and you have the ability to affect change, why not use that platform?
Absolutely.
Yes, you making a lot of money. And even if you did it, if you just there's people who don't make a lot of money, but they have a large platform
Right.
and they're pushing what needs to be, as they say, right? With the election that happened, they're so fearful because of the change.
Mhm.
If there was no change, they would care less about it. But it just lets you know they just don't want them. So overall, to answer your question, I feel like yes, they should speak about it because they
Mhm.
have that platform and they should hopefully use it for the greater good. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
Dap, we had the conversation a while early before the show. Like, now, who are we to judge? You know what I mean? Who am I?
Right.
Again,
Exactly.
I don't own you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Just like you
entertain us.
say, you shouldn't talk about it. What gives you the right to tell me that I shouldn't talk about it?
Exactly.
Who are you to
exactly.
tell
And
me?
I'm
So
glad you made that point where, again, they're Americans before they are athletes. They're people.
correct.
They have a saying.
That
If they
freedom of
use that
speech.
platform, I
Yeah.
mean, you look back then during like MLK, right? They had celebrities, people say, hey, look, I might not step in front of you, Dr. Martin Luther King, but I'm going to at least help. I have a voice, I have a
Correct.
following. I can help make a difference for this cause. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's mainly what it is.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike, what do
And
you
I,
think
and I
about
would
that?
say the same thing. I would say yes too, because with celebrities out there,
Mhm.
they got, again, with the platform, huge platform where they can go in and do things that nobody else can do.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And seeing, and not only having the funding and having the money to do it, is just being out there as far as their vision
Hmm.
and the vision that they carry out, and it's great that they can come in and do that thing like that. So it's pretty big
Absolutely,
on
and
that.
too, and it's like because you look at it like the scary thing would be like you have people if that has that huge following, if they do something bad, hey,
Right.
guess what? They're gonna gravitate. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do something bad
Exactly.
too.
Exactly.
But
what I
you
mean?
know, I'll simply say, right, we're talking about the good aspect of it, right? The
Mhm.
LeBron Jameses, but you look at Lil Wayne, I don't agree with what Lil Wayne said. And as a result, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to follow what he says. So
You talking
he
about
has
before the election in
correct.
2020?
Yes.
Mhm.
So, the LeBron James and Michael Jordan, they're the ones that are, I think, taking their platform, they're being positive,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
There are other ones that are taking their platform and they're pushing a negative agenda, right?
Mhm.
And it's got to be up to us. Again, I'm not going to stop Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne can say whatever he wants to say,
Yeah.
but that don't mean I have to follow it just
Yeah.
because
Even though you don't
I'm the
understand
sa-
really what he's saying,
Cor-
sometimes.
yeah, very true.
But you know what I always try to figure out? Why it's a lot. Some celebrities
Mhm.
that's doing it, some that's not, some that I feel that should do it,
You're
That
right.
don't.
You're right.
it's not doing it.
Yeah.
And
I mean-
it could be
Well,
big.
it could be, and it could be that fear thing because again, they know
Yeah.
that hey, we have an audience that they might not agree with their thoughts, their views on
Right.
things, and it's
Correct.
like
That
it-
backlash. Is
that
what they're
backlash.
of.
Scared
not
of the
only
brand.
that,
They get their brand. They're scared they're gonna lose the brand.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money for one, and then on top of that
Yes.
too, it's not even just money. Sometimes people be like, I'm a find. They might get threats. They might get
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
death threats or something.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
good.
still, I think it's still with that bottom line, right? Regardless of what we think, they have to think their brand, their positioning, because they have families and they've put themselves through whatever profession, whether it be basketball, football, whatever the case may be, they've put themselves in a certain lifestyle.
Mhm.
And is what I'm about to say worth me jeopardizing that lifestyle that I
Right,
worked so
right.
hard for?
Absolutely.
So yes,
absolutely.
we can say, why is this person not speaking more on this particular topic? They can bring up Kaepernick. They can bring up
Mhm.
Muhammad Ali.
Mm,
Guys
that's a
that
good one, that's a good one.
lost a significant part of their professional career because of the topics and things they stood for.
Mhm.
So yes, I feel like those that have the ability should speak on it, but you have to also remember those that did speak on it and the backlash they got. Is it worth it? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you nailed it on the hat, Dap. Because I mean, you look at all of us business owners. I'm pretty sure I can say Mr. Mike got us beat as far as the years
Correct,
working
yes,
in the
he's
been
working
doing
in
it.
the
Yeah.
He's
business.
I've
been
been in
professional
for
for
You know,
years,
years.
man.
I'm a rookie with I'm going on 3 years right now.
Yeah.
Dap, how,
I'm a year in mine.
a
1
year.
year.
Okay. So
Yeah,
again, we
I
don't
mean-
want to do anything to jeopardize our business,
Right.
But again, hey, we know our clientele. We're comfortable to say, hey, look, what needs to be said. Long story short,
Because
lot of-
even with me, I was thinking, I said, well, you got celebrities like Oprah Winfrey. She never speaks out. She's always low key.
But she does.
on
I
it.
would say she lets action say.
Right.
She
Yeah,
does
and
her
she
talking.
does a lot with
Does
her
it.
cars.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
Sure.
guys, we can keep on going for hours and
Yeah.
hours. But we got
That's
more
a
to
good
go. We got more
topic.
to go.
Great
But
topic.
all right, y'all, we're gonna be back after this commercial break. Hey, you're looking at our Smooth Club, the show where everyday men discuss everyday topics.
Stark and Legham, the one-stop headquarters for Stetson and Dobb. 739 Grammy Street in downtown Norfolk. Refine your style at Stark and Legham.
Alrighty, welcome back to the R Smooth Club, where everyday men talk about everyday topics. I am the Dapper Luke. So I'm bringing up a topic to you guys, right? So I know for me, I grew up in the 90s, right? In inner city Baltimore, right?
Mhm.
And so I always felt like when I was growing up, showing fear or showing that you're scared was like, you didn't do that, right? You're in the inner city. You've got to be this tough, because if not, you'll get beat up. And I was the second oldest of five. I always had to take care of my brothers and sisters, right? But I see with my own children, I'm now a father, and my children are a lot more open to talking about fear and how if they're scared.
Mhm.
So the question I kind of have for you guys is like, what are your thoughts on like being able to express if you're afraid or fear? Like, do you feel like it's frowned upon for guys to show those emotions? Or do you kind of feel, if I'm scared, if I'm, not feeling something, I can speak about it, you
Yeah.
know?
But what I can say on that is that a lot of times, and I see this all the time, guys fear crying.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Unless you're
I
like an
don't
athlete,
understand
unless
that.
you're like an athlete, you're
Right,
gonna
right.
you can show emotion, but like your
Exactly.
everyday guy, he can't show emotion.
Yeah, you can't show emotion, but sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry sometimes. Don't get stuck in that fear factor where, you want to do it, but then you're afraid to do it
Yeah.
because you're afraid of what somebody is going to say.
You'll look
He's
weak
not
or
strong.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
look
like-
weak.
But
I'm
sometimes
weak.
it's gonna come back later on. It's gonna be even worse if you didn't do
Correct.
it.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what it's so funny how Mr. Mike, how you said that, because I was about to say, hey, I have no shame in my game. I'll say if I'm because I have a fear of heights. All right. But when he
Yeah.
said crying, I'm like, oh, because my fiance has never seen me cry. And
Right.
and she wouldn't. It's a thing now. I'm like, hey, look, I don't want you to see any emotion in me. It's just,
Right.
I don't know why.
And that's
But
it's
why,
that
though?
fear.
But you
That's
know what?
that
It's
fear
because
factor.
it's because for me, I'll say it. Stuff that I get emotional on is like, triumphant stories. You hear about a great inspiring story. It's an emotion. It's that's emotional. See, or I'll say if I'm listening to a gospel song, those words mean something. I might show emotion to it, but I will never. I don't know why. I think it's just I don't want her to see me at that state because you're like, what's wrong? What's 'cause
Right.
I think again they're like, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Just give me like 30 seconds.
But then,
All right,
again,
suck 'em
for
up,
you,
suck 'em up.
you probably feel that, she might say, well, I'm weak.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
You know,
I
and
wasn't
you
gonna
don't
say that,
want
Mr. Mike. I wasn't gonna say that word.
But that happens.
It
Yeah.
does.
That
And
happens.
you know
You
what?
might-
I'll
you
tell
know-
you, the person that really brought the emotion out of me is my oldest son, right? My oldest son is 19 years old, right? And he cries all the time, like literally.
Why you gotta
all
make
the
it?
time. And I'm just saying,
Is he watching this right?
He may or may not. And I'm not trying to call him out, but you know what? I'm almost envious that he has that freedom, right? He can show all ranges of emotions, and it's okay. Sometimes you feel like as a man, you can be happy and sad, right? You can be happy and mad. There is no sad, there is no cry, but we have the same range of emotion as women, right? Why do we feel as though we've got to hold it back? You know what I mean? So now I'm not going to say I'm just going to walk outside and I hit my toe and I'm, oh my God. But when something truly touches me, I'm not afraid to let that emotion out because it's a natural emotion. You know what I mean? So
what's one of your fears now? Like what's one of like your all-time fears? Because like I said, mine is a fear of heights. If she sees me on somewhere went too high and I start crying, I'm like, better not say nothing. All right.
I'm claustrophobic. I hate being in tight spaces.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I hate being in tight spaces. So literally I had to get to a point where I get in there. If I know I'm gonna be in a tight space, I guess get into this mental space where I just begin, thinking about my breathing. That's the feel like you feel like you can't breathe. So I just gotta get to a comfortable like, okay, I'm breathing normal, I'm okay, right? So that's to me. I had to kind of overcome that fear. I need to do it within myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, even my wife knows, like, oh, my husband's claustrophobic. So, like, she knows, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I now am more able to get into those positions and work my way out of it. Whereas first I'd be like, I'm not going in there.
Now, when did you change? When did you transition? Like, I mean, like can I say your age, right?
Yes.
Now? Okay. You're 40 now, right? You're 40. So when did that change happen? Like at 39 last week? You know what I mean? Like,
it definitely happened after family.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you know, for me, like I said, one thing, and I'll say this, as a married person, right, with your partner, they know every aspect of you. They have to.
Exactly.
Right? So they know, I don't care how long you try to keep this act up.
Right. It's going to come out. It's definitely going to come
she knows.
out.
She knows already. She knows.
One mirror, and you're going to be like, God, right? So I'm just saying, you can hold on to it as long as you want. But eventually she gonna get it. She gonna know it. She like just keep nailing at it. So you gotta be able to like let it go. But for me, definitely, when I became a husband and a father, it definitely opened me up to, all right, these are natural emotions. Why am I trying to hold it back? Why am I trying to be tough? Like, because, another situation that happened with me is literally my family, we try to have these conversations, right?
Mhm.
Like, I have 2 boys, my wife, and I have a very young daughter, right?
Mhm.
So we try to sit down and talk about, okay, what's bothering you, right? And then the one thing about it is, if you want your children to be open, you've got to be open, right? You can't sit there and be like, yo, tell me everything that's happening to you, but you never open
Because
up.
they're following
Because
you.
they're following your
you.
lead,
Yeah.
right? So if you always are telling them, be an open book, tell me that, but then you're always got the shields up, they're not going to let you in. You
Yeah,
have to,
that's deep.
you
That's
have to
powerful right
also
there.
show you're vulnerable, and I don't always know the right answer. I'm not always right. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So it's got to be a two-way street, or you're not going to get the
That's true,
response
man.
you want.
That's
You
true.
know
What,
what
what about you, Jerry?
See, like how
Let me
like
pinch it real quick. Next
like, the heights thing, like I love roller coasters and stuff. But I've seen like my friends like they do skydiving. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that parachute, man.
Yeah.
That thing,
Let me tell you something.
Right.
If it's more than 3
And then
floors,
when
I'm
you
gonna get a
start it,
nosebleed.
You gotta
I'm
be
like,
strapped to another guy. So it's like,
I know,
oh,
I know.
What are we strapped to somebody? that we
I do
both-
not. Who wants to skydive? Who wants to jump 30?
Like-
Hear me out, America. Who wants to jump 30,000 feet out of a plane, just airborne, and then let me just pop this? No, I'm not doing that.
I don't
Absolutely
think I
not.
could put my trust in that thing.
I can
But, like,
never.
roller coasters. I love that stuff. I used to hate it. I used to be scared, and like I love it. But like,
I save a lot of money not going on theme parks. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not going.
The merry-go-round.
that might be that one nurse. He's gonna be like, let's go to roller coasters. Be like,
I will be like, sir, how you doing today? I can trust it. Here's $20. Could you please escort my? No, I'm joking.
But see, a fear of mine again too is bridges. But see, when I was younger, it didn't pay. I could pay it no mind. But I guess as you get older,
Man, is that driving on
That's
bridge?
driving.
You don't like to drive across the
I don't
bridge?
like. I mean, I
So
used
Chesapeake
to.
Bay Bridge Tunnel, you don't drive across that?
I used to years ago. Now it's fearful.
Oh, wow.
Mr.
know,
Lane,
it's
be stopping
crazy.
right there, be like, all right, man, every morning, come on, you got this. You got this.
But see, living in Virginia, that's all you got is bridges.
That's really it's true. That's
so,
true.
Because we are a very much water-driven area.
But I would
So,
say
it's
though,
crazy.
they're not that bad as far as like height. Again, for me, is the
The
bridge is
wind,
fine. It's
yeah.
the height.
It's the height. Yeah, the
It's
height
that
on it.
height.
And
Because
when
like
that
all my
wind-
family's majority of my family's from New York. Boy, I'm always like,
it's a lot of bridges in New York.
yes sir,
Yes,
yes sir,
a lot
yes
of
sir,
bridges.
yes sir, yes sir,
Exactly.
yes sir.
But I mean, ultimately, what I will simply say is, as men, we just have to understand our fears
Absolutely.
and not be afraid to show those emotions.
Yeah.
It does
Absolutely,
not take
absolutely.
away from your masculinity to show those emotions. Like I said, I'm almost envious of you guys' generation because I feel as though you guys are more open than my generation was to kind of show those. I'm not sure how your generation was, but I know for me, it was definitely a big thing, and I'm just glad that we can have those conversations now. And hey, we're still out there, we being men.
Absolutely.
We're gonna take a quick break. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right, welcome back to our Smooth Club, and I'm Mike Benton, the owner of Stark and Legum's Menswear in Norfolk, Virginia. And my basic topic today is something I always like to talk about. It's fashion, because fashion is strong to me. Because
very true.
I started out as a musician, and then somehow I worked my way into the fashion industry, and been doing fashion for over 25 years or more, basically. And so my question to you guys is, say if you're gonna go into a retail store and now you're dealing with the pandemic, and say if you got a salesperson that's gonna approach you without a mask, how would you deal with that? Would you say, "Where's your mask?" or what is the proper way to handle it, or
Well,
what would
I
you
guess
do?
it kind of depends on where I'm going into,
Mhm.
right? So if we're going to a normal retail spot, a lot of times the sales associate is not really necessary, right?
Okay.
Unless I have a specific question, right? So they may ask me, "Hey, sir, how are you doing? Can I help you out?" And I'll be like, 9 times out of 10, like, I don't really need anything unless I need specific. Now, in my profession, where I am one-on-one with clients,
Mhm.
I definitely kind of gauge it on how close I'm going to be to that person, and
Right.
I let the client determine if we're going to wear masks, right?
Right.
So the one thing that I think we get wrapped around is, you go somewhere, you should have a mask on, right? Yes and no, right? So if it's a lot of people, yes, you should definitely have a mask because you don't know who you're going to come inside with.
Exactly.
But if
Exactly.
you're in a one-on-one setting and you're not going to be that close, I don't think it's necessary right away,
Okay.
right? If I'm going to get really close to the person and we're going to be exchanging, then I think, yes, I
Yes.
should
Yeah.
definitely do it. And then with that, if we're going to be, the one thing that I do with my clients, I always have hand sanitizer right there in the middle,
Right.
So that if we're going to be, handing papers or touching similar things, we can sanitize our hands, right? And then, like I said, if we're going to be very close, like I'm going to be measuring you, then I'll put my mask
Yeah.
on.
Put the mask on. Right.
So I just think it kind of, to ask you, it depends, right? If I'm going to be in close proximity, if they're just walking by and they're saying, "Hey, can I help you with something?" and they don't have a mask on, I'm like, "No, I don't. No, I'm just keep going and do what I got to do."
Mhm.
But if I'm going to be really close to you right now, I think yes. In a
Yeah.
professional
Yeah.
atmosphere, you should have a mask on.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because I noticed, like in my business here, we have customers that comes in
Mhm.
without masks, but we have masks that we give them,
That's good. That's
which is
really
good.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because you got to look out for yourself
So
during this
now,
time.
let me ask you: if they come in without a mask, you go ahead and offer them the mask.
Right.
What if they turn down the mask? Do they have to
Well,
leave?
then they would have to leave.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, they would
So
have to leave.
in your establishment,
Because
they should have a mask. while they're
yeah,
doing any
because you
business.
got to exercise the social distance
Mhm.
and the
Well,
protection
and
as well.
absolutely, and if the city and the state is saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
you gotta have it where I don't want to affect
That's
my business
affecting your
either."
business.
It's affecting
Absolutely,
your
absolutely,
business.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So that's
Exactly.
very smart. That's very smart to do. I
Yeah.
think for me, um, well, for one, if you're saying if I'm a customer,
Right.
so I'm already coming in with my mask regardless.
Yeah.
I would say, hey, look, I already know what I want. Then, like you said, Dap, if they walk by, okay, that's cool. But I would, that wouldn't leave me. That I wouldn't walk out and say, hey, no, I'm gonna go to another store. I'll still keep a mask on, but I'll probably say, hey, look, y'all don't have the, is it mandatory for you guys to wear a mask now? If I see like another coworker wearing masks, you ain't the only one, man. I'll be like,
Right.
all right,
For
I'm gonna go with
sure.
this one because you over here rebelling. Let me do for real. Like, let me go ahead and do this side. But really, if I know exactly where I'm going with and know what I'm gonna get, boom, that's easy. Now, if it's custom, because like Dab said, it depends.
Yeah.
If it's custom, then I would be more comfortable if they can put on that mask. But it really all depends. Whether on the crowd size that's there.
Yeah, and that's what it matters.
It really matters
how
on the
many
crowd
people
size.
that's in the store.
Correct.
Because if it's a small setting, then it's kind of up and down.
And you got the 6 feet. So if that person, if he or she is 6 feet away from me, no mask, but I have my mask on, I would not be uncomfortable because again, I'm here determined to get this for a reason. So, if they're 6 feet away from me or even further, I'll be like, hey, look, can I get this? I'm gonna walk on 6 feet
for
by
sure.
and stuff and then just
No,
see what's going
I
on.
feel you on that. Like if I was going into the store and like they didn't have them on, like I'm not gonna cause a scene and be like, "Oh, why don't y'all got your mask on?"
Yeah, right.
I don't believe
But,
this.
I'm gonna definitely keep my distance. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna make a scene. But like if I was like owning the store, I like how you offer a mask, and if they don't, then they gotta leave.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta leave
And it's
out.
really just common courtesy. I mean, again, too, it's like, hey, if you're in a time like 2020 with the pandemic, if you're in a time where this is really getting like lethal, then look, don't try and provoke it. Hey, can you please? I would feel comfortable if you can put on a mask. It's that simple. I mean, it's a cloth or not cloth, but it's just simple mask you can put on. You can take it off when I leave, as long as
you
when I'm
coming in
here.
somebody else's business, like
Yeah, you
Like,
should
I
be
think,
prepared.
yeah,
'Cause
I
like,
think-
Exactly.
no sir, no
Yeah.
no sir, no service.
Yeah. I think
right.
towards the end, it was a situation where a lot more businesses are taking it seriously.
Absolutely.
I have not walked in too many businesses where I've seen the clients, excuse me, but the people that
The
work there
salespeople,
not
right.
wearing masks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, from 7-Eleven, like all of them, from retail to just a quickie mart, like they've all got
Especially
masks
from a
on.
major
always-
corporation, because
yeah.
if they don't wear
Yeah,
that,
'cause-
you trying to get fired. But I'm
Right.
just
Correct.
saying, have you
Yeah.
seen what happens in the public eye? If you've seen
so
in a major
I've definitely
corporation,
seen it. I've not walked into too many establishments, during the pandemic where they have not had on masks. The customers, yes.
Yeah.
Me personally, it's crazy. Like, to me, my eyes kind of catch it now.
Exactly.
Like, when you see everybody wearing masks, you see that one person that's not wearing a mask, you're like,
Yeah.
why you ain't wearing a
Wow.
mask? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how you
Because you
feel.
do.
Like,
It was just
You
like
do.
when it first came up, whatever, if you heard a cough from like a mile away, you like,
yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, hold
Did
on.
you hear that? Was that a
why-
cough? Was
why-
that a
I feel like that in
sneeze?
public sometimes. I got allergies and stuff. You gotta sneeze,
You're like,
You're like, hold it in, gonna walk outside.
everybody's like,
you. So,
But
Yeah.
that is-
But what I can say is that a lot of times we had customers come in, but I would say 9 times out of 10, everybody is wearing a mask.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been
And
impressed with
yeah,
people
and
that are
it's
wearing
been
masks.
really impressive in this area.
and
what's
which is
going
which
on.
is a great thing, because you look at, when we had that during 2020, you had, even in the state of Virginia, the governor, he test, him and his wife test positive. At that time, the president had to, so a lot, it was, once they got it, and there's like, whoa, this is, I mean, of course, you look at the number of people getting in as well, and people
Sure.
that had passed from it. But
Yeah.
once once it was in that town, and you continue to look at the numbers, okay, it's nothing to joke about. So hey, you want to keep the safety tactics and listen to health professionals with that. So
Yeah.
all right, well,
All right.
look, Mike, that was an awesome topic.
Thank
Look, we're
you,
gonna
guys.
go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with our Smooth Club.
Suffer from patchiness or irritation and want a fuller beard? Rugged Evolution features 16 amazing balms, oils, shampoos, and accessories. For more information, go to ruggedevo.com.
And remember, rugged is the new smooth.
Welcome back to our Smooth Club. All right, fellas, Mr. Benson, I'd like to thank you for stopping by. Check out Stark and Latham in downtown Norfolk. Thank you always.
you.
Dapper Luke, Mr. Rugged Evo himself, Arrington Gavin. And be sure to follow us, our Smooth Club. All right, guys, I want to propose a toast to all the health workers out there
there we go.
during this hard time. Thank you for
Absolutely.
staying positive and keep up the good work. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care, y'all.
Right.